Hello guys, thank you for tuning into my channel, and in this video we are going to be talking about a tip or trick to help a spirit manifest in your evocation slash invocation. Okay. um, I was asked if there's some advice that can help, and there's a lot, and I'm just going to be talking about this one specifically because this information seems to be almost hardly anywhere to be found, almost nowhere. I have found it in various places, but it ain't going on. It goes on. It relies on a concept called the law of attraction. Now, this law seems straightforward. Well, it might be a suggestion. It might be one's interpretation. It does seem to work. So it seems to be, for my opinion, one of the fundamentalist things you need to know uh, in any form of magic. But it seems to be also one of the most uh, primarily misunderstood. And we're going to use the example of a magnet because this is widely used to explain the law of attraction, and yet it's still overly simplified, or people just do not understand it. All right, a magnet attracts things. Well, attracts metals specifically, but it attracts things. Because it attracts things, this is used in a lot of attraction magic. Okay, sounds straightforward. You want to attract money, you want to attract new love, you want to attract business. You put a lodestone in your cash register. Okay, there are some people out there that overthink it and say, well, okay, a magnet has both a north and south pole, and north repel each other, south and south repel each other. So north and south attract each other. Therefore, it is opposites that attract. Scientifically, you're correct. Okay, and even to a point, even metaphysically, yeah, you are very correct. If you don't want something and you want it to repel it, you perform a ritual, and a lot of times symbolically you're pushing that thing away because you don't want it. You're changing the vibrations of your atmosphere, so it's ejecting what is not compatible. Okay, so if you look at it scientifically, in that case, a magnet can't be used to attract anything in your magical life unless it's made out of metal, because that's exactly what it only attracts: other magnets and metal. So if something is not inherently magnetic, then you can't use it. You see the flaw here. Okay, so what is the real understanding of like attract like? The best way to describe this is probably through the ecosystem. Okay, hold on. I got to get something to drink. Okay, ecosystem. Let's have a thought experiment. Let's say there is a field where known predators are known to hunt. Um, the birds, the deer don't go to that field unless they absolutely have to move through it. Or if they do have to move through it very quickly and cautiously. Now, let's say one day a bird starts feeding there and doesn't fly away and is there for a long period of time. What's going to end up happening is that other birds are going to be seeing that bird not flying and not being attacked, but eating. So those birds are going to come in and start feeding because there's food there. There is an animal there that's not being attacked. So the environment of that now has changed. The bird that no longer is being hunted has now attracted other birds to feed with it because it didn't run. And other predators, and other non-predatorial animals will see this and be less scared, and they will look at the birds as a warning sign that a predator might be approaching. So as long as they don't fly off real fast, they're going to stay there too. So now one comes to feed, and because of that, more and more come to feed, and because the environment is conducive and safe for them to do so. One bird attracted other birds. Those birds of attraction has attracted other animals that don't prey on those birds. All right, like attracts like. What it means by this is that you must create an environment that is going to be receptive to the organism that lives there. So, like a desert or like a swamp or like a frozen tundra, those environments will attract like creatures that can live in that environment. So when you are using like attracts like in your magic, what you're actually doing is creating a situation and an environment or mindset that's going to attract what you want. That is conducive, or yeah. So that's why other ingredients, such as say flowers or roses, that are associated with love, uh, the and beauty and so forth, attract can be used in magic to attract love and beauty because roses also have thorns which protect it. They are also known for protection because it does something. Therefore, you're tapping into that like to do another like thing. That is how you should interpret like attracts like. If you try to do it too scientifically with, say, a magnet, then you're going to think that roses or environments are going to do the opposite of what you're actually talking about. Okay, now spirits are the same way. Even though most things in magic are begin psychological, this is no different. See, when you summon a spirit, you are doing is attempting to change your psychological reception. Your mental and emotional state is altered and is ready to receive a different reality. Okay, now so you should create an environment much like that artificial pond. You dig in your backyard. You dig a hole in your backyard and you fill it with water, and you keep it filled with water. It might not have any fish, but because water brings life, it attracts life. Eventually, you're going to have bugs move in to lay their larvae, and with no predators, they're going to flourish, and then that's going to attract predators such as frogs and birds and snakes that both feed on the insects or feed on the frogs that feed on the insects. You're going to eventually, just by putting water out there, create an artificial environment that will attract like animals to that environment. So spirits, if you're going to be summoning a spirit, you should probably do the same thing with your altar, your environment. Okay. So let's say if you're summoning a spirit that is associated with one of the many Sephiroth in the Tree of Life, which is associated with a planet or a color, both, which is associated with both, then perhaps you should do that with your environment you're summoning the spirit into. You wouldn't leave uh, let's say a skinless cat, not skinless, I'm sorry, a furless cat, which, there's plenty of, they are a species. There's a species of cat that is born without fur. All right. This is, because of our breeding, right? So this kind of cat would not survive in the wilderness because it's skinless, it's unprotected. It'll be baked by the sun, and if you take that furless cat and drop him in a tundra, you might be able to eat the Arctic rabbit, but guess what? He's not going to live very long because of the weather. So you want to bring a spirit into your reality, you need to make an environment that is welcoming to it. This is a tip and trick that a lot of uh, books don't really have. A lot of videos I have yet to have. So, what about the color? Well, if you're summoning a spirit, say an elemental, say it's associated with water. Water is associated in various traditions and in various aspects with both blue, clear, or even silver, depending, if it's reflecting the moonlight. But uh, most people associate blue with the color water, and because of that, it's easier also because that's what the spirit does. So if you're going to be summoning an elemental of water, you might want to have a blue light growing, being displayed in your room, for example, to create a light. This is best used by, let's say, a oil lamp that you use for your evocation/invocation. You can create a plastic circle of blue filament, to where you could put it around that candle or the gas lamp. You know, not to where it'll get burnt, but the light that goes out of it will be turned into blue light and have a blue small candlelit ambiance in a room. One of the things I use, because finding blue or building this kind of filter for a candle can be kind of costly. Well, not costly, kind of hard to find. So I use something I find online, and this right here I got from Spirit Halloween anyway. Now I have a friend that is an epileptic, and flashing lights can send them into a seizure. And I'm about to do something that involves flashing lights. So if you are her, or you have epilepsy and is known to have flashing lights send you into a seizure, look away, and I will tell you when it's safe to look, starting now. Strobe lights. Little blue strobe light, for example. Fill up your room with the color blue. And this on this specific one, you can do it really, really fast, or you could tone it down to where it's semi-slow, but still look away, guys, if you're an epileptic. All right. All right. So this right here sends my altar room into a color that is welcoming to the spirit that associates with that kind of vibration. This is a little tip and trick. Now, the reason why I like the strobe light is much like how people can look at a candle and fall into a trance. With me, the flashing light, it doesn't send me into a seizure, thank God. Oh, by the way, you can look. If it's now safe to look, there's no flashing lights. Okay. It might be a distraction for you, but for me, the subtle flashes, or subtle or not, that repeat at the same intervals and so forth, are also known to put people in a hypnotic state. So in this situation, I am creating an energy, an aura of blue that is welcoming to that elemental spirit. At the same time, the very flashes behind me, creating the flashing in the room, is helping me fall into a hypnotic state. So a strobe light with the ability to tone it down or speed it up is a great asset or modern tool for your evocation to create an environment and to put you in an altered state of mind. Kind of long-winded, but kind of have to explain certain things. As this is a video that was requested, I just can't. Hey, guess what? This is a good tip or trick. I wanted to be in depth. So sorry for the 13-minute video on something that was so easy to say. It's just, if it's too easy to say and you say it easily, you're probably oversimplifying it. So it's best to kind of go into a little bit more detail. Thank you for watching. This is Azrael. Out.